Hey everybody, it's Joyce here at Shadow Bayou Tarot. I'm trying to get this thing here working. All right. I think it's too close, but that'll do. How is everyone? Where is everyone? Welcome to Shadow Bayou Tarot, where tonight we're going to hang out and I'm going to read out you guys submitted real creepy stories that you would like for me to share here on the live. So I thought it'd be fun to share some of you guys' stories. I'm going to leave the people who submitted the stories anonymous. If you guys want to talk about it in chat and say, oh, that's my story or whatever, that's on you. But I will leave the senders anonymous. And I do want to say something. These stories are all very creepy and scary to the person experiencing it. It may not seem creepy and scary to you, but it's very scary when you're going through it. And I thought it'd be fun to share these stories with everyone and just kind of hang out. We can chat about them. I'm going to have questions because I read some of these that came in. I didn't read them all. And there are going to be some typos that I'm going to kind of have to smooth over. So, this isn't how it is. But anyhow, I hope y'all enjoy this. And if you want me to ever do this again, just let me know by leaving a comment below. But be nice, be kind. These are real, true, creepy, scary stories submitted. Either you experienced it or some of you, your friends, have experienced it and shared this with you to share with us all. So we're about to get to it, y'all. And don't forget to give me a thumb. You've got two, donate one. Show a little love to a sister. Come on now. Hit that like button and hit subscribe and join this channel. I feel very out of my element. I'm usually in front of my tarot table with all my cards, and I'm not. I wanted a little bit of a different backdrop for a spooky, scary story time. So, yeah, I thought I would just kind of sit here. You have no power, Angel? Oh, Lord, girl. I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. That sucks. Tree hugger, you love. Indian King, someone's ex is scary. I think we all have an ex that's somewhere down the road that's scary. Thank you, Ilda. This isn't a door. This is a wall in my house. It's like a built-in, and this is what I put up. And y'all, I got an email from, well, I'll just say I got an email today. And I was told that somebody near and dear in my tarot community, I don't know about everybody else, Aubrey Kane passed away. And I certainly did not realize that Aubrey passed away. So keep Aubrey Kane in your prayers, you guys. I had no idea. She mentioned every now and then that she had some health issues, but she never told me what they were, and I never pried, But yeah, Aubrey passed away, y'all. Yep, on May 23rd. May 23rd, she passed away, and I just found out today. Because this person just found out also. I don't know how she died. Honestly, I don't know, but she was always very sweet and nice over here to us, on this channel. And she, send me like emails about different things over the years and stuff. Very kind lady. And I was in shock. I was truly in shock, y'all. So, yeah, keep Aubrey in your prayers, you guys. Anywho, so, yep, we're going to get started. And I don't know, I do want to timestamp these stories. So, I'll figure out what to, I guess you could say, name the story for the timestamp. I guess I'll have to, I guess it'll just, I don't know. I'll figure it out. But I'm going to need my glasses. So that's right. The spectacles are coming on. All right, we're going to get started here with the first story. All right, guys. And I want to thank y'all for being here for this spooky session. And it's a little different because I'm not reading the cards. But don't worry. Don't worry. Do not worry. Have no fear. We'll have well, actually, I'd like to do a Q&A tomorrow night after the All Signs or before the All Signs. We might just do that, have a Q&A before the All Signs. All right, let's do it to it, y'all. Let's do the first story. All right, so I'm going to timestamp it, and I'll just figure out what I'm going to call them later on. All right, so y'all ready? Settle down, get your treats. Settle down, get your treats. No, we're having a Q&A for everybody tomorrow. Members Q&As, you will know when the members Q&A is. All right. So, y'all ready? Listen up. I was a police officer for 6 years in my younger years. One hot, humid, full moon August night in North Carolina, myself and another officer responded to a roof alarm at a local mall. We met with security who gave us access to the alarm area. The mall was 3 stories, but only 2 were being used because of, we're going to say, construction. We entered the 3rd level and began walking from one end of the mall to the other. It was 2:45 to 3 a.m. in the morning. I took one side and the other officer took the other. As we moved slowly with our flashlights, we began to see a subject down towards the other end and started moving towards it. This night air became colder and colder as we got closer and closer. The man's silhouette moved back and forth with his front to us, and then back to us, and then front to us. Like, I guess he was turning. He was still too far and the night too dark to make out features. When we got maybe 30 yards from him, both of us put him at gunpoint and began to shout commands. Hands, let me see your hands. MFA, show us your hands. However cops do. You know how it is. Maybe you don't. While shouting commands and moving quickly closer, he disappeared before our eyes. Poof. We looked at each other like, what the fuck was that? And are we writing a report on this? How? You see, I would have said, we got us a problem here. We got us a little problem. And I would have told everybody in the damn police station. Then I would ask my boss, exactly how in the fuck do I write a report on that? Who, honey? Then you drink yourself a gallon of holy water, baby. I promise. All right. We're going into the next story. Let me know if you found that spooky, scary, or creepy. And how would you feel if that were you? 9:22. Ready? I know I'm not the greatest storyteller, but I'm not trying to be. So pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. I got to get my butt settled. Okay. Y'all ready? Okay. Here we go. My stepdaughter and her husband bought a house. Y'all know where we're going with this. You already know. Shortly after getting married, it was a cute starter home near a pond. and a church cemetery on the other side of the pond. Do we have to say it out loud? Hey, Joe. One night when she was alone, she saw something moving. When she looked over, it was a woman who startled her. Hmm. The woman was in a long flowing blue Old South 1880s style dress. She was gliding down the hall across the great room into the kitchen. When my stepdaughter went into the kitchen, the lady was gone. She never mentioned it to anyone except her husband. She would see this woman periodically from time to time. On the 4th of July, everyone gathered at her house for a cookout and fireworks in the cul-de-sac. My other daughter was in the house alone. I went in to get stuff for the grill, and my daughter was white as a sheet. A sheep. I asked her what was wrong, and she couldn't speak. After a few minutes, she told what she had seen, and my stepdaughter started laughing, saying, "She's cool. We see her all the time." They moved when things got a little weirder later. Apparently, they had more activity in the house at a certain point. A friend I went to school with does paranormal stuff and said the pond was a portal for spirits. If I can find it, I'll send a photo I took of the kids in the hall, and towards the floor, besides one of them, you can see a translucent horizontal spiral. That would be cool to see. I haven't received the picture, but I think that would be fun. That'd be scary as hell. Vita saying, I'm selling that house. Shit. I'm going to tell y'all something. That jogs my memory. I have a friend of mine. She's my sister's best friend. And she, years ago, I think her and her husband have been together like, I'm going to say 25 years now. When they first got married, they lived in a house. Well, she moved into his house that he already had. And in the backyard was a graveyard, literally in the backyard. And he already, he had been there a few years. So when they got married, she just moved in there. And she would wake up during the night and see a woman, a translucent woman in some kind of nightgown standing over her husband. It was always the woman was standing over her husband while he was sleeping. This is what I'm sorry. It was while they were sleeping. She'd wake up and see the woman like just kind of standing over him, watching him sleep. And she said a few times she woke up and the woman was going into the closet in the bedroom. And then she said every now and then she would walk down her hall and the woman would appear and then just dissipate. I said, let me tell you something. And she did the sage. She did all the blessings to the house. She did all the smudging. Whoever she got to do all this, or if she did it herself. I think she did it herself. I didn't do it, but it didn't have any effect. It didn't have any effect. So they lived there for quite a while. I want to say they lived there another 5 or 6 years or something like that before they live in the house they live in now. To sell that house is the next option. Hey, Richard. So, yeah, that's a little spooky. All right. So I have another story submitted for you guys, 14:35 on the clock. I'm not going to timestamp mine. You got to watch the whole video if you want to hear it all, boo. All right, here we go. I have a ghost story for you from when I was 16. I had a friend in Missouri, and his dad took a job as the caretaker of an old hotel complex. It had a water slide in the newer complex and a radio station. That must have been freaking cool. It had to be. You can even check it. It was called KCLU. So y'all check that, KCLU. The whole place was mortgaged off to the banks. There were 2 units. One was from the 1970s and had all the old 1970s furniture in there, and another unit that was 1980s. So me and my friend got drunk and we were smoking weed. And we broke into the 1970s unit so we could crash out. We already had previously broke into the bar restaurant downstairs where the radio station was, and we stole old bottles of booze and beer. So anyway, it's like 2 in the morning. Everything's happening at 2 in the morning. That's crazy. And it's 95 degrees outside in the heat of the summer, but it's super cold inside this building. Now, from what I'm understanding, y'all, this building is like abandoned, right? And it's ice ass cold. Okay. Okay. You can actually see your breath. This place looks like James Dean 1970s. All the old olive green furniture that you would see from the 70s. So we each find a couch or bed to sleep on. And I shit you not, we both wake up at the same time to hear a man's voice screaming from downstairs in the bar area. He's not just screaming, he's yelling like he's in pain, but also like, get the fuck out of here. Me and my friend both woke up, looked at each other like, what the fuck was that? And whatever it was, still screaming. We both got the fuck out of there and left our beers, cigarettes, and just ran. Boo. Honey. Let that be a lesson. Do not sleep in any old abandoned nothing. Okay? Ever. Look at Vita Pudding. She's running. Hi, Melissa. Jojo, how you doing tonight? Look at Hilda laughing. Angel Eyes, me sitting in my house with just the Lion Queen and battery candle and Palo Santo candle in the dark, perfect for scary stories. Leaving the beer and cigarettes, blasphemy. I hear that, Joe. Bianca, it's normal to me and my family, nothing scary. It's scary when you experience it and you're not used to it. Even when you are, and I said this the other night, even when you're used to certain paranormal things, when something different happens that you don't expect, it does freak you out. It does. You know, there are certain things that are repetitive that we sometimes live with, and we're used to it. But when you're not used to it, it's a freaky ass shit. You know? I guess because it's my dad and grandpa, like their mannerisms, maybe so. But to other people, like if you're used to this, whatever's going on in your house, and somebody, a friend goes spend the night and something goes on, they're going to be shit and scared. You know what I mean? Karen the Paranormal. Oh, well, you deleted your comment. Hi, Christy Sage. We used to have a Spanish radio station called the Hairy Hand. Ooh, that's neat. The Hairy Hand. Wow, I like that. The paranormal is spooky. It is. All right. Are you guys ready for another story? Yes. Okay. 1936. Now this one's, I'm going to try to do it justice and read it as I think as is intended to be read. All right. But I'm going to have me some kind of question after this. Okay. In the summer of 1989, I was 17 years old, and my aunt and uncle on my dad's side of the family drove me down Hollywood Boulevard just to see the movie stars and order a late night famous Tommy's burger. My window was rolled down while I was sitting in the back seat. We came to a stop, and a famous guest model locked eyes with me. She had jet black hair, light skin, and beautiful features. I knew who she was, but I remained calm and rolled my window up. It was like, oh shit. She smirked in a flirtatious manner. She was so beautiful, she made me feel shy. My uncle kept driving like nothing's going on, just a regular day in the neighborhood. A few months later, my father informed me that my half sister would be moving in with us. She wasn't getting along with her mother. I hadn't seen her since I was 6 years old. My sister arrived a week later. We clicked very quickly. We had two twin beds in my bedroom. She was 16 years old. She shared with me that she was a model for Vogue magazine. She was good looking, but I asked for proof. She pointed herself out in the Vogue magazine to me. From that point on, I believed her. I guess she proved her point. She also shared that she was in a romantic relationship with a famous guest model and showed me. The model had jet black hair and beautiful features, and I remembered who this person was. But then, as my sister spent more time with me, she got too comfortable. And one evening in our room, her face started to change colors, like a pale white complexion that apparently was not common for her. Okay. Oh, shit. I'm sorry, y'all. I lost my freaking space. And her voice changed into an English accent, and then back to herself, and then into another accent, French, then Spanish, and then back to herself, back to the English, American English accent, then into her model agent's voice. All of a sudden, she was a gay man. I figured quickly it was a spirit entering her body. The spirit said, "Do you remember me?" She flipped through the Vogue magazine, and it was the famous guest model I saw on Hollywood Boulevard. She started laughing in a crazy way. I remained calm but nervous. I got up and I was ready to walk out the door. The spirit seemed to leave my sister, and she came back to herself and said, "Don't go outside," like in a panic. The lady with the English accent returned. All of a sudden, my sister had the accent of an English woman and admitted she remembered me from Hollywood Boulevard and flipped through the magazine again. I told her to leave it or leave, and I was about to walk out the room, and it seemed to piss her off. She got even more pissed off because I guess you were like, screw this, I'm out of here. She made our dresser drawer shake like crazy without touching it. She just pointed at it, and it started to shake. I remained calm. I don't know how I did it since I showed no reaction. Then she saw a towel on the floor and made it rise without touching it. You see, I'm done. At this point, we got rattling dresses, and now this thing wants to start making shit. Nuh-uh. No. Mm-mm. No, it would have been over. But you remained calm, did you not? So I stayed calm, walked out the door. She left, but continued to aggravate us for about 4 years. She just wouldn't leave. I continued to blow her off. My sister got involved in another relationship, and those people finally left us alone. So, by writing it that way, I'm guessing the spirits left her apparently. And so, what I'm curious about reading this, I know where you're going with the story, but it's like, so did anybody look into spirit possession with her? Get some kind of help, or did y'all just, was this like a normal life thing that, oh, she's just full of spirits? I don't understand. I think if my sister, and I'm not at all judging or being sarcastic, I'm just curious, how can you live? I know I couldn't have. I said, oh no, Queen, we're gonna do something about this here. So was this a reoccurring thing for 4 years, or did somehow poof, it just seemed to leave her? Like, I'm kind of wondering how this worked, because I just can't, I've never known of people living with somebody who has all these different entities or suspected entities, you know. I don't know. I guess we'll never know. But that's my curious mind of, okay, like how is it to live with her like that? It depends. In that case, it can be sent. I've heard of spirits jumping from person to person, but I don't know if I've ever heard of them living within someone for a long period of, I mean, I don't know everything, but I've never heard of that. You know, so I don't know how that would, because to me, I don't know how she could live having that happening on a consistent basis. So I just don't know. Like, that kind of made my mind start wondering and asking all these questions. So apparently that was it. Over time, as we became adults, my sister became jealous of me and turned out to be like a sourpuss. So I guess y'all didn't really have any dealings with each other much after that. Yeah, I chose not to have any contact with her. Huh. But the experience made you spiritually stronger. I just feel like there's a whole lot left out of that. Like, from, to understand like how this spirit entering her, these different spirits entering her in and out or off and on, how did that play out over time? Like, I don't know. That's just my mind, though. I do appreciate you submitting the story. I don't, like I said, I just wanted to share these. I thought this would be fun for us to hang out. I'm not like doing a storytelling channel. God help me. I'm still all about the tarot in everything I do. At work, there was a client that changed voices from an adult to sounding like a little girl. Really? Ooh. Jeff saying you could. This could be your second channel. I don't think I'm a great storyteller. I think if I did something like that, I would want a microphone to kind of get that. I don't know. I don't like microphones a whole lot, but I'd probably need one. Like, to have that experience, because I mean, and I guess I'd have to learn how to edit too, to make all the little effects. I don't know. Anyhow, ooh, you could do a podcast. I don't know if I'd be a good podcast person. I don't think I'm entertaining enough. and a producer affiliate. You need a condenser microphone, right? And you need like some kind of mixing board for all that. Y'all know I don't know how to do that shit. And it's not like I got a whole bunch of people willing to set me up with that. My brother-in-law knows how to do it. He's got that type of setup. But I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, all right, y'all ready? Thank you, Elda. Hi, Cassandra. Hi, Pam Bear. And thank you again, Pam. All right, y'all, let's timestamp the next one, 3042. All right, let's do it. A friend told me about her mother going to visit her brother's grave. The brother was called Bubba. This is a little rural country cemetery. They opened the gate and drove in and over to his gravesite. Just as they got out of the car, a dog came running through the open gate that they just opened and drove through. The dog wasn't threatening. He ran up this girl to this girl's mother and jumped up on her. She lost her balance and fell to the ground. She wasn't hurt, but she was having trouble getting up. She spoke out to her deceased brother and said, "Bubba, I'm going to need a little help." All of a sudden, the dog came up to her and put his head underneath her armpit and nudged up and helped her get to her feet. And then the dog ran over to the brother's grave and laid down against the headstone. Her mother, Bubba's sister, burst into tears. The daughter took the photo that's attached, and he did send me a photo of the dog sitting against the gravestone, but yeah, I saw the picture. Okay. We have another story. 3221, because I'm going to timestamp these if y'all want to listen to them again. All right. I see JoJo asking for holy water out there. I think that was a cute story, though. I thought it was cool. All right, y'all ready? A lifelong friend of my mother, who also did her hair, named Carolyn. Carolyn had a 4-year-old granddaughter, and they were in the car going to run errands. It was the middle of a bright sunny day. The driveway and garage are on the side of the house. The mailbox is in the front of the house. Okay. You can pull right up to the mailbox from the driver's side or passenger side and reach out and get the mail. So they decided to pull up and get the mail instead of get out the car to get the mail. Okay. She pulled up to the mailbox and let her granddaughter get the mail. She loved to do this. No traffic, no radio turned on, nothing to prevent her from hearing clearly. The granddaughter opened the mailbox, and a male voice from inside the mailbox said, "This is Jimmy Joe. I just want you to know that I'm all right here in heaven." The granddaughter asked what was going on in the mailbox. Carolyn heard it clearly. She asked her granddaughter, "What did you hear?" The granddaughter repeated exactly what they both heard. Carolyn turned around, drove back to the driveway, took her granddaughter back to the house. She took her granddaughter in and told her husband to watch the girl. Carolyn went to the bedroom and began crying. Her husband went to check on her, and he could barely get words out of her. She told her husband that Jimmy Joe had spoken to them and said he wanted them to know he was all right there in heaven. The granddaughter barely knew Jimmy Joe. He just died when she was 2 years old. I don't know if she did or did not remember him, but she told her grandfather that her grandmother's brother was in the mailbox. Carolyn said that had she been alone, she would have never believed it. Okay. She would have never believed her granddaughter had she gone alone, or if she would have heard it by herself, she would have thought she was hallucinating, but they both heard it, the granddaughter and Carolyn. There's more to our lives in the entire world and universe that we can possibly comprehend or appreciate. Have a blessed day. Okay. That was a good story. I need to proofread more than glancing so I can write things out to where there's a flow for me as well. All right, y'all ready for some more? I know I suck at telling stories, but I just want to have fun. This is not my job. I just want to have fun. 3550. Y'all ready? All right. Now, I have not, this was recent to me, and I have not read this. So I'm just letting y'all know. Hi, Joyce and everyone. On a family vacation driving to Padre Island, Texas, we stopped to stay at San Antonio, Texas on the way for a weekend as my brother was staying in an old remodeled Relic House. I don't know if that, what's a Relic House? Do you mean like an old relic? I don't know. Or was it called the Relic House? I don't know. That was the friends of his. That was a friend. Okay, so a friend owned the house and they were out of town for the summer. Years ago, this house used to be a salon and restaurant. Well, it was said it was so old that they had people buried under it like a graveyard from way back years. And in that house, we saw lights come on and off whenever without turning without turning on a switch. The bathroom the bathroom door would close even with nobody shutting it, and the bedroom doors, we would hear them open and close like slamming shut. We would look around and saw no one. It was very spooky, to say the least. So it had to be spirits from the afterworld, just saying. Okay. What do you think? Now, I have lived in a house that at that time, now we moved here over 30 years ago now. So this is before that. So I'm going to say, well, shoot. It was in my family for 18, 19 years. This house it was my grandmother's, used to be a dance hall / house. The dance hall and the house were in the same building, but separated by a wall. So what we got accustomed to hearing was when the dance hall was closed and no one was in there, when it was time for bed, we could hear, and it sounded like at a distance, music playing, people talking, dancing, laughing, clanking of glasses, and doors slamming. And it was the doors to the ladies' bathroom, because it just so happened that my bedroom, which was a shared bedroom with me and my cousins and stuff, it shared the wall to the ladies' room in the bar. So you can hear the stall doors open and shut. You can hear music like it sounded like it was at a far distance. You could hear people laughing, talking. You couldn't make out what they were saying. But it got to be, we heard this so often and so much over the years, it's like it was nothing. And the funny thing about it is nobody else ever heard it but us for years. That was interesting. Yes, it was. Anyway, I digress. All right, so The next story, 3946. Y'all ready? When I rented my present apartment, the leasing office had me fill out many papers to lease it and said I needed to give them a relative, next of kin, or close friend of my family. And I said, okay, and gave them relatives and a couple of other references. Okay. And while I was writing them down, they tell me it's very important to have that contact on your lease, as they recently had a renter die with no family or friend contact listed. Later, I found out from another neighbor that tenant died in my apartment. That was the last occupant of my apartment. Number 13. Number 13, interesting. He died of a diabetic coma in his sleep. Well, my two cats would always go to one area of the corner of the room and look up towards the ceiling for like 10 minutes. Plus, the cat I have now, years later, is still doing the same thing. One of my daughters stayed overnight once and her cell phone was missing. We called it and it was in a sealed pillowcase with no opening for it to get in. Like there was no zipper, no nothing to, or no way in the pillowcase. Okay, so we looked all over for an opening. We had to cut a hole into the pillowcase to get the phone out. And my son and daughter said it must have been the dead man and joked about it. But possibly his spirit was here haunting us. I don't know. But I do get superstitious. Now, how in the hell would your phone end up in a sealed pillowcase with no opening? I mean, think about it. That is so bizarre to me. Angel Eyes, did you know some buildings they don't have a 13th floor? Now, I've heard of that. Let me go back. I worked on 13th floor one time. You found a building with a 13th floor? You should have sent your story, Jeff. I'll have another one if y'all enjoy it. I'll have another one if you guys enjoy it. Oh, we got another story right here from the same person. I did not see that. Okay. I thought this was just like regular email. Sorry. All right. 4258. Let's hit it. All right. Y'all ready? And I need to work out. If I'm going to sit right here, I need to work out the distance of the desk and me. Okay. What does it say? In grade school, me and my friends would have a slumber party, like 7th or 8th grade, and get a Ouija board out. And I would chant, I believe in Mary Worth. Things were just spooky and superstitious when we did it. Okay. We even laughed in between, thinking we were summoning the dead spirit of Mary Worth. Just kid stuff, but was spooky to us at the time. The quiet in between the chants. Okay. And staring at the Ouija board. So basically, y'all were chanting for this dead spirit. So did anything happen? Like that was it. I hope it's a little spooky. You felt so strange. Let me tell you about a Ouija board. I'm going to top this Ouija board story off. This is a true story too. Another true story of mine. And I'm going to top this off. I had several Ouija boards in my life at different times. Of course, well, when I was younger. And at my grandma's place, remember I said we had a bar and a house that were connected. It was one building separated by a wall. So After a dance night, I had a Ouija board, and I keep that in mind. After a dance night, we couldn't find certain things. We couldn't find my grandmother's glasses, and there was something else. Oh, I'm going to tell you that. So we get out the Ouija board. My grandmother said, let's try to find my glasses. Let's see if it'll tell us where my glasses are. So we sat at the table. It was me, my grandmother, and my uncle's wife at the time. So we asked Ouija where her eyeglasses were. And it said in the bar. That could have been anywhere. We said where in the bar, and it said behind the bar. Okay. Where behind the bar? On the floor. So my grandma started laughing. She said, Joyce, go in the bar and see if you find my glasses. I went in the bar. We had a long bar. Okay. Sure as shit, I found her glasses on this pallet. We had at the time these Coke canisters, and that were attached to the Coke guns. They have these huge canisters, right? Well, she had been changing out a Coke canister and put her glasses down on the pallet and forgot and walked away. So technically, it was on the floor. Another night that we shut the place down, it was after the dance was over. Everybody's gone. We cleaned up. We did what we had to do. We get out the Ouija board, and it was for some reason we were just playing around with it. Me, my grandma, and my uncle's wife. All of a sudden, we can hear rushing water. And I'm like, where is this water coming from? Because the place was pretty big. Okay. And I'm like, where in the fuck is this water coming from? And we all hear it. It's the middle of the night. All of a sudden, I'm hearing this water rushing from somewhere. The only place it could be, the bar. So I open the door, go in, go behind the bar. The freaking sink, the faucets were wide open to our sink behind the bar. And I mean, wide open, both faucets. And I looked and I'm like, none of us did that. And why would we have our faucets wide open? I was like, oh shit. Oh shit. Went in the house, and my grandma said, you need to throw that board away because Ouija's laughing. Ouija's laughing. And Hope, my aunt, my uncle's wife, said, we asked the board if it was trying to play jokes on you. And it said, yeah, it wanted to scare you. It wanted to scare you. And it went, ha, ha, ha. My grandma said, and you getting rid of that board? And I sure did. I sure did, honey. We don't know who in the hell we were talking to. We were just having fun. None of that mattered to us. Another time, I got another board. I want to say the worst experience I've had with a Ouija was I felt I had to, it was a gradual thing. In the original movie, Ouija with Tony Katane, everything they said is absolutely true. It's absolutely true. It suckers you in. It's helpful and friendly and fun at first, and then it's not. Then shit goes wrong. So I had this board, and I felt the need to play it all the time, like for everything. I wanted that board. I wanted to play that board for any little shitting thing. I'd force my sister to play it. She didn't want to. I didn't care. She had to. Um, and then I started having nightmares, but these were not just any little nightmare. I started having nightmares that the devil was trying to kill me. And the devil was really in my dreams. It was a reoccurring dream. It was like you would almost see it in a movie. It was very misty and smoky, and he was walking toward me. And first, it's just a silhouette, and the closer you can see what it is. And it was the animal head, the horns, and a man's body. And I knew in the dreams, I felt it, that he was coming to kill me. And every night, he got closer and closer to me. In the dream, every night, he was closer. I could feel just this feeling of, I have to get rid of this board. Something was telling me it's time to get it out the house. I went and told my mom, who's here now, but she's in the bedroom. I told her about it, and she said, we'll throw it away. I said, I'm afraid to. All of a sudden, I was afraid to even touch it. So she grabbed the board, and I don't know what she did with it. She got rid of it somehow. I never saw it again. Over the years, friends, people I know, and people I've read their stories are all similar. And none of these people know each other. And I don't know those people. And some of the stories are really bad and very true. I'll tell you something else. Have you ever been in bed and felt something sitting next to you and nothing was there? You got to get rid of those Ouija boards. When we open portals to the spirit world, first of all, they're attracted to your light. Bad and good spirits are attracted to the light. The light is the living spirit. You are the living spirit. Do you understand? Bad spirits and good spirits are attracted to the light, which is you. And bad and good spirits come through. But how do you know who you're talking to? Just because they told you? I have to tell you the truth. Spirits lie to gain your trust. The more they can be, the thing of it is, the more they can interact with you, the more you love them, the more energy you feed them. Your life force is what they want. They want to be in your body. They need a physical body. Spirits are alive. They're very much alive. But they don't have a physical form. But you do. I feel, in my opinion, it's the darker, the bad spirits that want to possess your body, not the good ones. But how do you know what you're playing with? You don't. You don't. And trust and believe. They want to be alive again. They just need a body. They want to walk the earth again, I should say, because they are alive. They're just in a different place. So whenever we call down spirits and spiritual work, whenever we We have to use certain protections, and we do our best. We do what we know. Also, I personally don't invite dark spirits into any of my work. Have I ever? It's possible. It's possible because of certain things. And I won't say any more about that. But we have to take certain precautions. It's a lot. It's a lot. Spiritual work is a lot. And we are the mediator for you, for your petitions. And we're speaking to these spirits for you. You know, first of all, how can I say this? Everybody has their own beliefs and they feel a certain sort of way about the spiritual realm. And some people, a lot of people work with dark spirits. They work with demons and they don't have a problem with it. They, whatever it is, their relationship with those spirits are, that's them. The problem is, especially, and I'm just going to keep on saying it, the dark spirits want your soul. It's like they don't care about your soul. They just want a physical form. They don't care what happens to you. They don't care. They care about themselves. All right. And yeah, you're going to hear people say, but I work with this and that and I get everything I want. Let me tell you something about that. That ain't free. That is not free. And people learn the hard way what the price is, and it's not a price they like paying. Never. I'm going to tell y'all, opening portals to spirits, you don't know what you're getting your hands on. When it's something like a Ouija board, that's uncontrolled environment, you're dealing with people that just want to have fun. I'm guilty of it. When I was a teenager, I was just as curious as anybody. Okay? You got to watch what you're playing with and know as much as you possibly can about what you want to play with. Because I'm going to tell you something. Who do you think's going to pay the price? There's always a price. Nothing's free. It sure does. And we, you can joke and say, oh, Ouija board's this, Ouija board's that. That's a case of fuck around and find out. But that's not going to be just sit in a corner and it'll go away, or tell it bye and it'll go away. No. That's going to take a whole lot of hell and a whole lot of doing if you get the wrong one attached to you. And that's a real fucking thing. Bianca's saying their car wouldn't start after her mom played with the board and y'all got stranded. Yeah. Thank you, Latoya. But these are true things I'm telling you is real. Yeah, worked fine after it was towed home. It's just, y'all, I don't know. All right, what we have here. Okay, we have what we have. We have 2 stories left. All right, 5933. And if y'all want to do this again, we can. I mean, I'm not saying I'm doing this every week, but if y'all ever want to do this again, we can. It's fun to hang out and talk scary shit. And like I said earlier, it may not be scary to you, but it is scary to someone. All right, y'all ready? I had bought my son, and I'm gonna kind of put this in my own words. I guess this is what you're saying. I had bought my son these singamajigs in 2010, plush dolls that when you squeeze their tummies, they sing, jibber jabber, chat, or harmonize. And if you had more than one, they would all harmonize together. Well, around Christmas time, I was wrapping gifts in one of the back bedrooms and taking them to the living room under the tree, going back and forth doing the thing. And as I'm in the living room, I hear one of these dolls make a sound. I go check my son's room. Midway down the hall, or midway, I don't know. And the three dolls are just sitting on top of his firehouse bookcase. Nothing on top. So I go back to wrapping. And after a few more steps, a few more walks, I hear them harmonizing. I'm alone, nothing pressing their tummies. And I just loudly said, "We all got to live here now." Meaning, we all got to live here together, bitch. Calm it the fuck down. I put that part in. Never heard them again, and my son didn't want them. He said the same thing happened to him, and he stuck them under his sister's crib. You threw them out after that. So he was scared of them, so he stuck them under the baby's crib? What? No, you see them fucking dolls? I don't do no damn baby dolls like that. No, we ain't getting no scary dolls. We're not getting no baby dolls. We're not getting none of that shit up in this house. Let me tell y'all about them baby dolls. A doll represents a person. They're very easy to purchase. And people don't look at you weird and funny when they see a baby doll sitting in your house, especially in the South. It's very common, especially when I was young. And as a young child, all the elders, the older people, many of them had baby dolls in their house as decoration. I never thought nothing of it. I've seen so many damn baby dolls in old people's houses. It was unreal. Honeys, a baby doll, no matter what size, no matter what shape, is commonly used in hoodoo, voodoo, and other spiritual practices to attach a spirit. Whenever especially when you're doing, mainly when you're doing controlling work on someone. Those are working dolls. It's very easy to attach spirits to these dolls. Okay, and have the doll will experience what you want the person to experience. You do it to the doll. And people keep these dolls to control the people. Other reasons, other things that happen, dolls get possessed when they are, I guess, in a very bad family that owns the doll. If someone is demon possessed or there's demons, I feel, in the vicinity of these dolls, there are times, why, I don't know, they attach themselves to these dolls. And I feel it's because 9 times out of 10, somebody wants that doll. They're going to play with the doll. They're going to give that doll energy. Someone is going to always interact with a baby doll. Y'all following? So it's very common that baby dolls, especially older baby dolls, antique-ish baby dolls, bring in or carry bad spirits. Mm, fuck a baby doll. Y'all keep y'all damn baby dolls. I don't want no. There was a mambo. Excuse me. There was a initiated mambo, wanted to, very kind lady, wonderful woman, I have the utmost respect for. She made her own dolls for workings, and she wanted to make me one. And it's traditional. The type of doll she would make is very traditional and hoodoo, and also using voodoo. And I said, girl, thank you for offering. I appreciate it. Please do not send me no baby doll. Girl, do not send me no fixed baby doll. Do not send me no baby doll. I said, please. She said, why? I said, girl, y'all keep y'all baby dolls. That's one thing. No, I cannot. I said, them baby dolls freak my ass out. She started laughing. I said, well, shit, it's true. It does. That wigs me out, man. Certain things, I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm good. Y'all all keep y'all dolls. And don't y'all be sending me that shit like a joke, because you're going to be getting it right back. You're not going to like how I send it back to you. Y'all better stop. Okay. I have one more story. 10646. Y'all ready? All right. Now, this one, I was sleeping about 2014. I had the pulling me up dream. The pulling me up dream. So I'm not sure what this person means by the pulling me up dream. I guess you felt like you were being pulled up physically somehow from the bed, I guess. Would get, oh, thank you, Latoya. Thank you, girl, for the $9.99 super chat. Thank you. You're sweet. So, what is the pulling up dream? I could look at that in two different ways. Okay, would get them over the years, always resisting. So, you can feel yourself trying to control the dream, is how I'm taking this. But this one was super scary. It was a very angry entity, mouth open in anger. Couldn't make out what they were saying, though it was my Libra grandfather. He always commanded respect as his role in Supreme Court. I'm guessing he was some type of judge and was very strict, but he was in his late 70s when I was born, and I was his only granddaughter, so it never scared me. I can't imagine what he was mad about, hoping my Libra grandma, they were both Libras, reeled him in. I was pretty shaken for a while once I pulled myself off that dream. So you had the pulling me up dream. Do you mean like, I'm trying to figure out what that is. So I've had experiences where I was sleeping, but I was mentally aware that something was holding up my arm. And in my mind, and I couldn't speak. It says sleep paralysis. Is that what this is? I learned years later it is astral projection. So you feel you were doing astral projection and running into these entities, but you feel like this entity was your grandfather. Familiar with the falling dream? Yes. Yeah, I'm familiar with that. But I've never been familiar with flying dreams as far as I can think, or pulling me up dream. The only thing pulling me up was the sleep paralysis. And it's like saying it was this person's grandfather. First of all, the spirits, that may not have been. Now, if maybe you can feel it was your grandfather. That's possible. You can feel that it's your grandfather, but with this demonic look on his face, screaming in the dream. The thing is, spirits can take form, appearance of your relatives that have passed, so you'll not be afraid. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that one. It's true. And that's something, I mean, I guess you could feel if it's that person or not. But I do know that spirits can, and it's only the bad ones that do it, take different forms. They also lie to you. They want to gain your trust. They want to build a relationship with you for a reason. They will be helpful. They'll be friendly. And then there will be a turning point. And when you want to get rid of them, you won't be able to. So the spirit realm, whether we're in dream state or not, that's their realm. Our realm, even though we're spiritual people, we're spirits living this earthly experience. That's the whole thing. We're in a different realm, and they want to be in this one. So, yes, they're going to play to you. Yes, they're always open and willing to come through any portal, any kind of way you allow them in. And remember, whenever you're playing Ouija boards or whenever you're doing certain things, you're inviting them. You're making it so easy. Because once they do get that invitation, it's not just vampires that need one. And most bad spirits, depending on how strong they are. But they don't need much of an invitation. In fact, they don't need an invitation, to tell you the truth. But if you invite them, that's like opening the front door and saying, y'all, come on in. You make it easier. It means a need to escape a restricting situation. Her dream you talking about? Hey, Alice. You talking about that's what her dream means? Yes. So you heard that, person who submitted the story? Y'all heard that? That dream that this person saw her grandfather's face screaming. Mary Guidry, my sister Mary Alice, just said what that meant. You see, It means a need to escape a restricting situation. So, does that make sense to you? Hi, FG. You also can block them. You can block evil spirits. What blocks evil? What blocks evil? So the best thing, in my opinion, you do whatever you want. You can do all the physical practices of the salt baths and the sage and all the smudges, all the different smudges, Palo Santo, all of that. And those are fine and they work good, but you have got to pray for protection. You want the strongest form of protection is prayer. The salt, the water, the baths, all the things. What do you think we're doing with that? We're praying over them first. And so is everybody else. The prayer is the words. Your words and your intentions. Also, the prayers, most prayers out of the Bible, if not all, in my opinion, all, are attached to spirits, attached to angels, so attached to Jesus, attached to God. That is who fights evil and wins. And I don't give a damn who likes what I just said or not. It is what it is, and it's true. You don't have to fucking like it. Do it weekly, especially after talking to violent people at work. Especially when you do, okay, that's a great example, especially when you work in violent environments. Just simply working with the public. You know what I mean? But especially if you're with an aggressive or violent public, yeah, I could see the need for that quite often. Thank you, Bianca, for the plug. Holy Protection Oil is sold by me on my website. That is true. That is true. Because I'm going to tell you something. I don't personally know of any soul, any person. I mean, I'm not saying there's not people like this, but I've never known of people when in trouble, spiritually, physically, when the shit hits the fan, do not call out to God. They do. Who you think they're calling out to for help? To save them? To fix them? To help them? To guide them? To heal them? The only person they know can. Not the spirits off the Ouija board. Y'all follow? Look at Joe Ghostbusters. You could call them, but they're going to call God too. Thank you, Ilda. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, Florida water, all that stuff is great. But what makes all those tools, because they're tools, spiritual tools, what makes them powerful is the prayer. What makes them powerful is your intentions. What makes them work is when you put it all together. Hope nothing is fried after 8 power surges in a row, darn tree. Oh, God, angel eyes. So that's how I look at it, y'all. You can do all the techniques, have all the tools. Your intention and the words you speak matter. Whatever your intention and the words you speak are, especially when it's repetitive, you give life, you give power to those tools. That's why they work. Shadow figures. Now, I have my own thoughts about that, but people say shadow figures are demons. I can't say they're right or wrong. I don't I don't know. I'm kind of torn in that one. You're going to sage your Star Wars action figure collection now. Yeah, because what if they start walking towards you there, Joe? You see, FG? And that's okay. And now you know. I think a lot of people, most people, eventually, in my opinion, all people, I mean, I just think that will be shown, you know? Correct. That's right, FG. You can't unsee what you've seen for yourself. This is true. Huh, I got another story for you, y'all. Alice, how can we not mention the restaurant? I'm not going to say the name of it, or the casino. I'm not going to say the name of it. You know, and I know, Alice, it was haunted. We all had experiences there. Yeah, oh my God. Yes, you know, and I know. The fucking restaurant, especially. The office. Remember the time you and I were counting money? We were just talking. It was like late in the afternoon one time. We were counting money, talking. Now, in our office, there was a counter where our money was. We were sitting next to each other, each had a stool, and over us was a shelf. And they had these metal, like index card type boxes, but they were heavy metal. And they've been there for years on this shelf. We weren't touching them, nothing could move them. We were just looking at each other, talking about whatever. All of a sudden, one of those boxes fell. And I don't remember if it would have hit you or me. Like we just both kind of moved back and it landed on the counter that we were counting money and like hit. That wasn't the only thing. We had a board on the wall, one side of the wall with things tacked to it. About midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and probably around midnight, we were switching shifts. This is when Sherry was working. And while I was leaving, I'm telling Alice, remember this? And Sherry was coming in. We switching shifts. I'm in the casino. She comes running out the office. I'm not fucking going in there, Joyce. Why? Because all those tacks just flew off the wall and hit my back. There wasn't nobody in there but her. Let's see, Jessica. This other, true story. Jessica was working, she was bagging French fries in the storeroom. She wanted to get that over with before she left. She comes running to me in the casino saying, I just threw them fries in the freezer. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I just heard a child laughing in there. The restaurant was closed. There was no child on the property. She just heard a child laughing in the back storeroom. Nobody was there. Another thing, I would have to be at work for like 4:30 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning on certain mornings. And so I would do what I had to do, and I had staff coming in about 6 in the morning for the restaurant. And this became a common theme to where it just didn't bother us anymore. Remember how I said when you get used to hearing something, it doesn't bother you? Yes, the handprints on the glass doors, we could never wipe them off. That's true, Alice. We could never get them off. In the hall, let's see, where you go into the kitchen from the office, that hall, before we even opened the restaurant, somebody was in there calling my name, saying, "Good morning, Joyce." Nobody was in there. I would hear it and my cooks would hear it. How many times? And I was the only one with the keys to the office. The office would lock automatically when it was closed. When the door was closed, I had the keys around my neck. Nobody else had a key. I'd walk in the kitchen. I'd talk to somebody in the kitchen. You can hear my office door open and close. We looked at each other. I'm like, I go look in there. Nobody's in there. This was all the time. Put something down in the kitchen, turn around, it's gone. Nobody touched it. Graveyard shift was the worst. Graveyard and early morning. Graveyard and early morning was the worst. Like at night and in the morning. It was just so many different things that would happen. But you get used to it, you know? You really get used to it. I used to, when I was aggravated or pissed off at work and something supernatural would happen, sometimes I would yell out in the kitchen, if you got that much fucking energy, grab a mop, start cooking, wash the fucking dishes. I really would. And it would stop. Remember the stories Carlos would tell us? Yeah. I remember her telling us stories. I don't remember offhand what they are. I haven't talked to Carlos in years. Oh, yeah, sassy human, that's me. You do? Well, next time we talk, Alice, you have to remind me of those stories and I'll share it on here. Pam, late in the morning over here is when I heard my name called out, and I'm the only one here, usually between 3 and 3:30 a.m. I refuse to respond, nor do I look to see where the sound came from. A lot of time, like I've heard stuff here, but I'll say no. It irritates me. I say no. You're not doing that. Get the hell out of here. No, you're not allowed to do that. Go away. You can tell them to leave. Remember, you are the dominant spirit because you are the living spirit. And you can tell it what to do. Like you can tell it to leave. Now, in the case of something really bad and evil that's been there for years and years and years, it's not that simple. It takes a lot to do. We can do our own version of scary stories just from, yeah. That's the truth. You're going to have to remind me of some of those stories. Next time we talk, we're going to have to make the time because it's going to take us a few hours. But yeah, y'all let me know if y'all want to do this again. It would, Alice. It would take us a while. You have okay, Pam saying she's told something to leave her house one time because you smelled smoke right behind you and it wasn't you. As soon as you told it to go, the smoke was gone. Right. Because you are the dominant energy. You're the living spirit. You hold authority. You down, Alice? Latoya, yes. FG said yes. JoJo saying, see, we need a collab. The Joyce and JoJo Midnight Show. I kind of like that, Joe. I'm gonna have to see if my brother-in-law would hook me up with a mic. If not, y'all just stuck with me until I can. I don't know if I can get one, but maybe he'll let me borrow something. Maybe I can hook up something so I'll sound better. But because y'all know Joe is like the king of the voice. You have near-death experience stories too? Damn, you're gonna have to share that. That sounds great. Not that it's great that you nearly died, no, but that you have stories to share. I have condenser mics, even USB mics. I'll send you one. Well, hold on. Let me ask my brother-in-law first because he's got a plethora of stuff. He just needs to like hook me up. It's not like I'm gonna steal it. I mean, Jesus, they live across the street. He's got stuff. You know how it goes. But I'm gonna see if he'll just give me a little hookup so we can have a little show. I would like that, Joe. We can do the scare the shit out of people show. How y'all like that? The scare the shit out of people show. I wonder how YouTube would like that. They're so funny about things. Anyway, I think the scare the shit out of people show would be very popular. Now, don't y'all go steal it, opening a channel called Scare the Shit Out of People. Everybody, y'all heard it here first. Use your blessing oil. The midnight colon cleanse. Oh, God, don't talk about a colon. Jeff saying copyright. It's Summerween. It is Summerween. All right, I like that, Summerween. Alice, yep, you can tell many stories about your house. I know y'all probably wondering why I call her Alice, when clearly her name says Mary Guidry. Well, her name is Mary Alice, and we've always called her Alice. 3 days until the equinox. I'm gonna have to look and see what's going on in the sky. Besides tornadoes. Oh, I was so scared last night. That's one thing I'm not down with. Bad weather. Especially what we had. Thank God. Thank God. Talk about by the hair of our chinny chin chin. We missed that shit. Only you call me Sister Mary Alice. Bill called you that too, though. I think. Yes, Bill called you that. That's when I started calling you that. He said it sounded like a nun's name, Sis Mary Alice. So he would call you Sister Mary Alice. That's when I started calling you Sister Mary Alice. By the way, Bill is no longer with us. Yep. He sure did. You know, Bill was always with a joke. Sound like a nun, Sister Mary Alice. You gonna call her Malibu? Malibu. Oh, I know, Alice. I know. Yeah, it is super sad about Aubrey Kane, too. It is. Come on now, Alice. Yes, you were the mother duck to all of our little duckling selves. That's right, y'all. You got a living legend on this here channel. Sister Mary Alice is in the building. My boss, my mentor for years. She helped create all this, I don't want to say monster that I became. She taught me how to grow my ovaries. And I think I overgrew them. I overgrew my ovaries, and she'd have to come down on me sometimes. I had to go to the main office and save your ass today. How many times she told me that? Because of my hair on my face. And I was so, it was like, well, I don't give a fuck. Because sometimes, I mean, we were all working shift work. We were all working ourselves like back to back to back to back. And I think I'm getting a cold. Oh, thank you, Alice. Yeah, I did tell him, Pam. I didn't say who told me about Aubrey because I didn't know if you'd want me to say, but I did tell him that Aubrey passed. I sure did. But I don't know. Y'all ever think, because sometimes I think like this too. I feel like I've lived so many different lives in this life, in this one, that I feel like I've reinvented myself so many times. I've done so many different things in my life. I don't know. And there's certain things about it that I miss. But other things, of course, I don't. But there are certain things I do miss. You know, I miss being or feeling like I was part of a team that felt like family. You know, I miss that. I miss always on the go, on the go, on the go. Even though you felt like you were going to lose your mind. But there's certain aspects to it I do not miss. Yeah, this is a wall in my house. Mm-hmm. Joe says he's got wonderful mug shots from past experiences. Yes, prayers for Aubrey FG. Yeah. Yes, I have said that I would absolutely keep Aubrey in my prayers. She will be missed. You're right, Jeff. She's been a long-standing tarot community member for a number of years. My condolences to her loved ones. Yep. Not this, not just Shadow Bayou, But she had her certain readers that she liked and everything. She was such a nice lady. Let me see. I'm seeing what y'all saying. I'm trying to catch up. BG. All right, Bianca. I think I grew a spine in a bit bitchier, but in a way I stand up for. Well, look at the type of job you have, and that's something else too. When you have a job that you have to work with aggressive people, you don't have a choice but to become aggressive. Are they going to walk all over you? And there are times you have to be in control of the atmosphere. And with these aggressive people, you have to be in control of them. Like you have got to stand up, and it's not easy. It's not easy. I mean, you got to do it, but it's hard sometimes, but you got to do it anyway. And that's the part a lot of people don't understand. That's the part a lot of people do not understand, what you go through, what you deal with, and who you have to be in order to handle that. Enforcing boundaries is a learned skill. It is. It is. Anyway. Well, I want to thank y'all for being here tonight, for hanging out, sharing your stories with me, chatting it up. I enjoyed it. I know I'm not the greatest storyteller. I never said I was. I keep saying that because so many people with these wonderful, amazing voices can really make storytelling just amazing, off the charts. Okay. Why don't you age? Well, it's not because I drink blood. Let me just get that out the way now. Alice is asking me why don't I do age? I have. I don't feel my age though. I mean, I don't know if that matters. I don't look young, but I never looked young when I was young because I wore too much makeup. um I appreciate the compliment. I don't think of myself, in my mind, I'm 30 years old. It's like I can't imagine me really being the age that I physically am because I don't see myself that way. But I don't know. But I thank you. You think I did great? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Karen. I was 24. Yeah, I was 24 when I met you. Yeah. I was 24 when I met Alice, and I started working for her. I told y'all the story. She forced me to be a manager because I said no, I wasn't doing it. I was scared. She said, "You doing it or you fired." So to have a job, I had to be the manager. Well, we had a group. And I'm so glad. I am so glad she threatened me that day. It's true. She's sitting right here. She tell you. That's all true. Everything I said is all true. And then I'm 54 now. 30 years, Alice. 30 years. Who would have thunk it? Karen, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Karen. Oh, Lord, angel eyes in those mangoes. Karen, you get a free mango from Angel Eyes tonight. Fresh and free mango. We need some damn mango shirts around here. Free the mangoes. Angel Eyes. Karen keeps giving me mangoes. Oh, so you're giving her one back. Okay. Well, I'm going to jump off of here. I got to go tend to a few things. All right. I'm going to timestamp those readings. I don't know exactly how, but I might put like a little title by the timestamp. I'm not sure. I probably will, though. So thank y'all for tonight. It was fun. I feel it was fun, and I'm glad that at least some of y'all enjoyed it. I hope all of you enjoyed it. I hope more people enjoy it. Remember to hype my videos, y'all. Give me a thumb. You've got to donate one. Please subscribe to my channel if you love my content. And we'll be back with all signs next time. Thank you, guys. I love y'all. Have a great one.